In this video, i-discuss ko sa inyo yung definition ng derivative. Pagkatapos, aalamin natin kung paano ba natin masasabi na ang isang function ay differentiable at C. So, dun muna tayo sa definition. Let I be a subset of R, or let I a subset of R be an interval, and let F be a function from I to R, and let C be element of I. We say that a real number L is the derivative of F at C if given any positive epsilon, there exists a positive delta such that if X is element of I satisfies the absolute value of X minus C greater than 0 but less than delta, then the absolute value of f of X minus f of C all over X minus C minus L is less than epsilon. In this case, we say that f is differentiable at C, and we write this symbol for L. So, ito yung definition ng derivative in terms of limit. So, kung babalikan natin yung definition ng limit, so ganito natin siya dinedefine using epsilon and delta. Okay? But ginamit natin yung limit to define naman yung derivative. So, kung i-convert natin siya sa limit, ang ibig sabihin niyan, yung limit ng f of X minus f of C over all over X minus C as X approaches C is equal to L. And sabi nga, sinusulat natin siya as this symbol. So that will be f prime of C. Okay? Now, ano ibig sabihin yan? So halimbawa meron tayong graph ng function. So let's say ganito na lang siya. Itsura niya. So ito yung ating function f. Then let's say ito yung ating point C. Then ang magiging point f of C niya, ito. This is point C f of C, yung coordinates. Tapos let's say dito yung ating x. So ito ay x. Tapos ito yung ating f of x. F of x. Then let's say meron tayong tangent line dito. Tangent line at this point. So kunwari line siya na pantay. Ang hirap mag-drawing kasi. So yan. Then yung slope of tangent line, let's say ito yung L. No? So yung point na to that is C f of C, tapos ito yung X f of X. So ang sabi sa definition ng derivative in terms of limit, kapag daw i-approach mo yung X sa C, so kapag i-approach natin to dito, okay? So meron kasi ditong second line. So let's say ito yung second line passing through points dito tsaka to. Yan. Kapag yung X i-approach natin sa C, yung second line na yan, yung slope ng second line na yan, mag-a-approach doon sa slope ng tangent line. Okay? So, ganun lang kasimple yung geometrical interpretation niyan. So, kumbaga, parang ganito yung itsura niya. Let's say, ito yung A, ito yung B. So, ganito yung itsura niya. Yan, halimbawa, ito yung graph A, B. So, ito yung second line. Ito yung A, ito yung B. So, magiging, ilalapit natin yung B. Magiging ganito siya. Lapit natin. So, ito na yung magiging slope ng second line. Pag nilapit pa natin, yan. So, mapapansin nyo, no, na yung slope ng second line, nagiging para siyang slope ng tangent line. Hanggang sa dun sa pinaka halos malapit na part na siya, nagiging mukha na siyang slope ng tangent line. Okay? So yun yung gustong sabihin ng ating definition of derivative. As x approaches c, yung ating slope, ito, yung ating slope, nag-a-approach sa slope ng tangent line. Okay? And yung slope ng tangent line, ayun yung derivative ng ating function at c. So, may iba pang explanation about derivative. So, yung other explanation niya, yung in terms of rate of change, so dinedefine naman yan or ini-explain naman na yan sa Calculus 1. So, hindi ko na i-explain yan dito. Ang focus ng ating discussion dito ay kung paano ba natin masasabi na ang function f ay differentiable at c. Okay, so magbibigay ako ng iba't ibang examples dyan. Doon tayo pumunta. Number 1, show that f of x equals k where k is constant is differentiable at c element of I. So gagamitin na natin yung yung na-convert na natin para sa ating proof. Ito yung gagamitin natin, f prime of c. This is equal to limit f of x minus f of c over x minus c as x approaches c. Okay? Then what is f of x? Constant function yan. So yung f of x, that is k. So this is k minus, yun nga, f of c, isubstitute mo yung c dito sa x, that is still k kasi nga constant function yan eh. So k over x minus c. So this will be equal to limit ng what is k minus k? That is 0 over x minus c. And what is 0 over x minus c? So that is 0. So limit 0 as x approaches c. And this is equal to 0. Okay? Ngayon, meron tayong napakitang limit. Okay? So ibig sabihin, differentiable siya. Yung function na to ay differentiable at c. So, ganun lang gagawin natin. Para mapakita natin na differentiable siya, dapat may mapakita tayo na limit. Kasi nga, define natin yung derivative kanina in terms of limit. So, f is differentiable at c. And this is that. Number 2, show that f of x is equal to x is differentiable at c. So, identity function naman yan. Yung kanina, constant function eh. So, for our proof, f prime of c is equal to limit as x approaches c, f of x minus f of c over x minus c. Okay? Then, what is f of x? Yun daw ay x. So, magiging limit, sulat ko na rin kagad to. Yung f of x, that is equal to x minus, kung isa-substitute mo yung c dito sa x, magiging c siya, no? So, x minus c over x minus c. So, that is limit nito. What is x minus c over x minus c? That is 1. And what is the limit of 1 as x approaches c? That is 1. So, meron tayong napakitang limit. So, f is differentiable at c. Okay. Number 3, show that f of x is equal to 1 over x is differentiable at c not equal to 0. Bakit not equal to 0? Kasi yung 0 hindi siya part ng domain. Pag nilagay mo kasi siya dito, undefined. Diba? So, for our proof, f prime of c is equal to the limit f of x minus f of c over x minus c as x approaches c. So, ano yung ating f of x? That is 1 over x. Sulat ko lang to. So, f of x, 1 over x. Minus, ano yung f of c? That is 1 over c. No? 1 over c. All over x minus c. So, solve natin yung numerator. Magiging ano siya? cross multiplication lang. So c minus x over x times c, x, c. All over x minus c. Then magiging eto, ilabas ko yung negative, magiging ano siya, negative quantity x minus c. So pag dinistribute ko yan, negative x, positive c. Ito yun. Over, ibaba ko tong xc, magiging xc quantity x minus c. Para makancel tong x minus c, magiging ano na siya. Ang matitira, limit as x approaches c ng negative 1 over xc. Pag in-apply ko tong limit, magiging ano na siya. Apply natin yung limit. So ito magiging c times c. So c squared. So negative 1 over c squared. So meron tayong nakitang limit. Then kapag may nakita nga tayong limit, so yung function na to ay differentiable at c. So therefore, f is differentiable at c. And this is that. Last number, show that f of x is equal to the absolute value of x is differentiable at c. So for our proof, let nga muna natin, let c equals 0. So yung derivative niya is equal to limit, as x approaches 0 yan limit of f of x minus f of 0 over x minus 0 as x approaches 0. This is equal to, ano yung magiging f of x natin? Absolute value ng x. So limit ng absolute value of x minus, ano yung f of 0? That is absolute value of 0. And what is absolute value of 0? That is 0 over x minus 0 as x approaches 0. So that will be equal to limit of absolute value of x over x as x approaches 0. Now, kung i-apply natin yung limit, okay, yung right hand limit niya, since yung right hand limit neto ng absolute value of x over x ay equal sa, magiging equal yan saan? Equal sa 1. Bakit positive 1? Kasi itong absolute value of x over x, yung absolute value of x kasi magiging x na lang. Kasi positive values na yung x niya. Parang ganito. Halimbawa, ito yung ating number line. Okay? I-approach natin sa 0. From the right. Kasi right hand limit. So, kung from the right, yung mga values ng x na to ay positive. At kung positive yan, yung absolute value ng x, that is just equal to x. And x over x, that is 1. Yun yung magiging limit niya. Tapos, yung left hand limit naman ng absolute value of x over x ay magiging equal sa, so ito naman left hand limit, o yung mga values ng x dito, negative. So by definition ng absolute value, magiging equal yan sa limit as x approaches 0 from the left ng negative x over x, and that will be equal to negative 1. So yung right hand limit niya, that is 1, tapos yung left hand limit niya, that is negative 1, hindi equal. So the limit does not exist. Kasi hindi equal yung right hand tsaka left hand limit. At kung hindi nag-e-exist ang limit, ibig sabihin yan, yung f ay not differentiable at c equals 0. Okay? Now, doon naman tayo mag-focus sa greater than 0 tsaka less than 0. Now, ilet natin na yung c greater than 0. So, ito muna tayo. So, yung f prime of c equals sa limit as x approaches c ng f of x minus f of c over x minus c. This is equal to, so yung f of x natin, that is absolute value of x minus, ito ay absolute value ng c over x minus c, and this is equal to limit, ano yung magiging absolute value ng x natin? Since ang pinag-uusapan natin ay greater than 0 yung c, halimbawa ito yung ating line, ito yung 0, somewhere dito, halimbawa yung c, ang pinag-uusapan natin yung limit na yung greater than 0. So ibig sabihin yung right hand niya, mga positive values yan, at yung left hand, yung mga values na nag-approach sa c, malamang positive din yan. Okay? So yung absolute value of x, pwede na natin siyang i-consider as x. Okay? X. Kahit gaano pa kaliit yung c, sigurado tayo na merong mas mababa dyan na nag-a-approach sa kanya. Okay? Mas mababa sa kanya na positive na nag-a-approach sa kanya. Kaya ang absolute value ng x natin will be positive x minus, since ito ay positive, definition ng absolute value, c din yan, over x minus c. As x approaches c, what is x minus c over x minus c? That will be 1. 1 as x approaches c, and that will be equal to 1. So, ibig sabihin, nag-e-exist yung limit kapag yung c ay greater than 0. So, if c greater than 0, f is differentiable. Okay? How about kapag yung c less than 0? So, f prime of c equals limit of f of x minus f of c over x minus c as x approaches c. This is equal to limit of absolute value of x minus absolute value of c over x minus c as x approaches c. This is equal to, so ito naman pinag-uusapan natin yung c, let's say ito yung 0, yung c naman ay negative. So, nandito naman yung c. So, malamang yung left hand limit niya, mga negative values ng x yan. Tapos yung right hand limit niya, sigurado tayo na merong negative values dyan na mas mataas kay c. Okay? Sure tayo dyan. So, yung by definition of absolute value, ang ilalagay na lang natin na absolute value of x dito will be negative x. Kasi ang pinag-uusapan natin sa x dito, yung nag-approach sa c. Okay? So, which is mga negative values of x. Kung negative values of x yan, absolute value of x magiging negative x. Tapos ito, magiging negative c naman. Okay, by definition of absolute value. So, minus negative c magiging plus c over x minus c. So, pwede natin siyang isulat as limit negative x minus c, quantity x minus c over x minus c. So, cancel to. Magiging limit as x approaches c ng negative 1. Okay? And that is equal to negative 1. So, meron tayong nakitang limit. So, meaning, f is differentiable. So, ibig sabihin neto sa overall, f is differentiable at c, kung ano man yung c, kahit ano yan, kahit anong constant yan, basta hindi equal sa 0. And this is done.